and you can't do much with milk at
Yeah,
a
when
country
no one's
concert.
eating
Yeah,
milk and cheese.
no one's eating milk and cheese at country concert. So this is a beef farm, where we're going to be doing our own brisket and burn ends and our own hamburgers and hot dogs.
It's the summer of fun on TOV. It's the summer of fun, just watch and see.
On this episode of The Summer of Fun.
Yeah, I'm Chris Dutton with Dutton Cattle Company. We are excited to be announcing that we have a June 7th concert on our farm in Flushing, Ohio. It's called Ranch Night BBQ Concert. And we're featuring Sammy, Kershaw, and Bryan Martin, two, one big act from the 90s and another emerging artist. We're really excited to be bringing those guys to the Ohio Valley. We were a part of Jamboree in the Hills because my family had Valley View Campgrounds, which was just an old farm that we had right across the street, ran it as a campgrounds. We've been doing that since 1990. So I was 7 years old or whatever, whenever that started. We always kind of had parties growing up. My family always did a big summer party, and we always did a big winter party, a Christmas party, and all this kind of thing. And I always helped my mom. There's 4 of us kids, and I always helped my mom. I loved kind of entertaining and doing food and doing all this stuff. And so we kind of grew up doing that. Whenever Jamboree went away, doing Blame My Roots was sort of felt like, okay, I think I can do this, and this would be really exciting, really fun, and also I don't want anyone else to screw it up. I think we can do it. I think we can do it right here at Valley View Campgrounds and do that kind of thing. So a lot of people that assume that we're the reason Jamboree left. Of course, Jamboree was owned by Live Nation, a $10 billion company, and my God, we're a small family-owned company. So
Pavilion Theater.
they own it. Live Nation owns everything, right? They own Ticketmaster, they own management companies, booking companies, they own venues, of course, like Star Lake and or whatever it's called. Sorry, and they own all that stuff. Live Nation has a monopoly. So we end up competing because there's radius blocks whenever you do shows. So I learned that kind of the hard way. The radius blocks are like 100 miles, and that's certainly, that venue is way closer than 100 miles. So you can't get access there, getting access and all this kind of stuff. There's all kinds of radius issues that we have. That was one of the reasons why, we were having such an issue with booking Blame My Roots, and why I just decided to pull the plug. It took us way too long to get a headliner. And we just kept losing out to other shows. There's a big festival in the Canton area called Country Fest, and of course Star Lake's going to have theirs, and Live Nation's going to be booking theirs. And
what is a radius, a typical radius, and does it matter if it's a Friday and then a Saturday?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, the typical radius for all those clauses is 100 miles. So 100 miles from location, in a radius, and 90 days before and 30 days after. So it makes that really difficult for Ohio. Is a lot of shows are between Memorial Day and Labor Day, right? So 90 days before, 30 days after, that's pretty much summer. So you can't get a lot of acts playing the same spot. You'll see them spread out. You'll see them, and then they'll have to approve different things here and there. But we were never big enough to be able to really throw our weight around. We would always get pushed around. In fact, we're going through right now with this concert. We're going through a little bit of a radius issue with some of the artists that took on other shows. So we're just not big enough to really do much about it.
Yeah. So Blame My Roots ultimately ended, and why did this Ranch Night BBQ arise?
Well, so I always, we have we're really proud of our venue at the farm. I call it a venue now because because it kind of is, but we have, Airbnb lodging down there, a big, a couple of big lakes, all this kind of stuff. I've always kind of thought it made this be a perfect setting for a small little concert or something. My sister got married there. My brother got married there. And I thought, we could have something down here. I've studied so many different venues in the area, outdoor venues in Columbus and Pittsburgh and all over, to know that, and then just setting up venue for basically, Blame My Roots was a completely temporary venue that we set up for the 3 or 4 days that we were there. So I knew that we could do something there, and I knew it was pretty enough. And I just thought it was a perfect spot for a small little concert. We tried to do it a couple times. I tried to do it for 2023. I tried to book Lainey Wilson, and she got way too big and outside of our reach, way too big, way too fast. Whenever you're booking this stuff a year out, and they actually just stop answering you because they're like
Really?
waiting. Yeah, because they see her star rising, and they're like, nah, we're not gonna lock her into something in Eastern Ohio,
Wow.
right? 10 months out from now and not know. And that stuff happens all the time. So August of 2019, our first show was July. my booking agent at the time, RMA, they're down in Parkersburg. He was saying, "Hey, you got to get Morgan Wallen for next year. This guy Morgan Wallen's crazy. He's only 15,000 right now, but he's going to be, they're asking." What was it? He was playing for 15,000. He said they're going to probably be asking 80 for next summer.
Oh my,
Um,
that quick.
and so that's in August. I'm like, who is this? What?
Who
Who is
is
this guy? He's got
Morgan
like this once, like, what is going on here? And he was like no show in a couple shows because he had some issues,
He's
and I was like,
still in the
oh my
news
God, I
now.
don't want. Yes, he still has
Still
an issue
throwing
with chairs.
doing all
Yeah.
kinds of things.
So um, this is after I was booking my first show. So I was like, oh my God, he's playing for 15 right now, but he's going to be 80. And what? That's crazy. Well, then he had gotten all of his issues. He was in 2022 when he came back, he had to honor some shows. He was asking way into the $1 million and honoring shows that he had booked, I think, for like 150 or something like this. So like it just because of like his
Rise to
he was just
fame.
on a rocket ship, and they had shows booked and all this kind of stuff. And then he got in his issue where he couldn't, he got, kind of blackballed there for a
Yeah.
year and all this kind of stuff. So, well, I mean, we had him targeted for Blame My Roots, and we had him booked. So, you typically book headliner down, but Sammy was available. Then he was going to check that box for Legacy Act, like a 6 o'clock spot, Legacy Act, a great spot for us. And then I love Bryan Martin. I've been listening to him for a while, and when he was available, I was like, we gotta get him. We'll put him anywhere. I don't care what we're doing with him. I don't care. We'll do anything with him. If he whatever. Yeah.
Take a picture of your
Yep.
sandwich.
Yep. Everyone wants to show everyone where they are. I mean,
Have
there's
the
like,
location.
yep, there's there's Bourbon Beyond in Louisville. There's the big barbecue concert thing in Chicago. There's tacos and tequila that goes around. There's all that kind of stuff. So whenever we had talked about Blame My Roots for 2024, we had talked about trying to add another component. We had a component with Blame My Roots that was a food truck rally, and it was as promoted as best as we could. But the reason why I did the food truck rally for Blame My Roots, if I could diverge for a second, is
go ahead.
I wanted good food at our festival. I didn't just want
Definitely.
elephant ears. I wanted I didn't want just fried food. And I thought, well, if we do a rally and we have them kind of compete with each other and we kind of build as such, then we can be a little more selective with the food trucks that we have here. And it was kind of really selfish. Like I wanted better food there. People are, if people are going to be on the farm for 2 or 3 days, like we did with Blame My Roots, or 4 or 5, if all they're eating is fried food, they're not going to feel too good by Saturday. And you want people feeling good. And, it's truly like a farm to table experience. We don't know of any other country music shows that are really, we know a few that are on the farm, they do the farm tour with Luke Bryan, but that's in a cornfield. And I think they own a dairy farm or something. And, you can't do much with milk at a country concert. Yeah. No one's eating milk and cheese at country concert. So this is a beef farm, where we're going to be doing our own brisket and burn ends and our own hamburgers and hot dogs. We do all that through our restaurant in Morristown anyway. And we're just going to do a whole bunch more of it. To
a larger scale.
To a much larger scale. This is going to be, we're going to eclipse 1,000 people, which is pretty exciting for the event that we're there. I've never actually used that number yet, but we're eclipse it. And by the time this thing goes on, we'll see where we're at. But I know we're going to eclipse that number. So this venue is right in just the middle of the farm. So the cool thing is you're going to be driving by our cows. You're going to be driving by our barn, our tractors, and all that kind of stuff. And you're going to get out there. You're going to see the parking, and then you're going to go down this like wooded trail. And at the end of the wooded trail is our pavilion, our family cabin. It's an Airbnb. This is the area where my brother got married, my sister got married. We've had parties down there. And then a 16-acre lake is down around there too. So the stage is going to sit right along the lake. And you have the trees surrounding you, and you have the outlet of the lake and all this kind of stuff that's going to be out there. We have a little surprise after the show too. That's going to be pointed up towards the sky. But
Okay.
it's but we have, it's a very intimate, very cool setting, tall pines, tall trees around you, and then you're just kind of sucked into this little nook.
To stay the night. Is that correct? Is it just a car parking spot?
No, there's no way to. There's no. I think no. You're reading between the lines, which some people might.
Okay, good. Then let's cover this.
We
Yeah,
have.
I was thinking like, oh, great. I
Well,
can just
what
sleep in my car.
there is. We are so parking is free, which is
Okay.
great.
That is great.
And yeah, it's a very the tickets were $45 and parking is free, and Sammy Kershaw alone is $45 and Bryan Martin alone is $45. So it's a great deal. We are doing free overnight parking. I always thought when I go to concerts, it's never, it's always like the no towing signs everywhere, right?
Yeah.
But I know from from doing a lot of property management in Columbus that you have to post those signs, but it doesn't always mean someone's buzzing around. You have to actually call to have towed. So I thought, you know what? We're in Flushing. We are a little bit remote, which adds to the whole mystique of the whole thing.
Mhm.
But we're also, we're also quite remote. So if you can't get home, you should know that you can take an hour to shake it off and take or whatever you got to do
Yeah.
to shake it off, and we're not going to tow your car. We're not going to tow that thing if you need to take a couple hours to get some shut eye. We're not, the cows will moo, but other than that, we're not gonna, tow you out of there. I'm 40 years old, man. I had my buddy who's also 40. I was like, man, how are you getting home? This is like he's like, my mom's coming to get me. I was like, oh my gosh, there we are. We're 40 years old, and your mom's still coming. His mom's been picking him up for 25
Yeah.
years.
I was the little
Um,
sister that would go and get the older brother. Like 3 older
oh
brothers.
yeah.
On
Oh, same as my family. I have a
yeah?
little sister with 3 older brothers. Yeah.
the message of, hey, don't miss this. People who are
Well, I
listening.
mean, one reason don't miss it is I don't think I'm ever doing it again.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, so that's so, and we've been saying that, we've been saying that that it's so the competition that we were talking about before, the radius issues and all that kind of thing. It's really tough to do these kind of things here locally. Um, we were able to put this together because we kind of had them already booked and on the hook, and they had us, and we had them, that kind of thing. So, I'm yeah, this is going way better than I thought it was going to go. So I might change my mind, maybe, but I really,
I see.
maybe, but it's going to take a while to do that. These
Yeah, we
shows,
can come
these
back in about
shows,
5 years.
yeah, there's no telling. Yeah, it could be 2 years from now in July. It could be 3 years from now in August. I do leave that open, and I do. It could be a small concert series. It could be local acts that or something, or it could be bigger, whatever it could be. Totally could do something like that. Um, but um, but yeah, we just it's going to be such a unique, authentic experience. The food is going to be great. I'm excited to promote the farm. I'm excited to have a real country concert on a farm and not in a gravel parking lot somewhere or whatever, that I go to those too. But I just think it's such a cool thing. And especially for local people, I just don't think you're going to see anything else like it. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Dutton Ranch Night is the handles for social media, and ranchnight.com, duttoncattle.com will get you over to ranchnight.com.
And that'll do it for this edition of the Summer of Fun. Again, that was Chris Dutton with Ranch Night BBQ in Flushing, Ohio, featuring Sammy Kershaw and Bryan Martin, June 7th. For more information, head to our website, WTOV9.com, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more episodes of the Summer of Fun.